Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming on and sitting down because today we're talking about respect. Let's talk about a little thing called respect. Everyone likes feeling respected, right? Right? It validates your self-worth. Makes you feel good. It's essentially a basic human need. Everyone wants to be respected. Some people work their asses off to gain the respect from their peers. Others, however, would rather take shortcuts. Do you see where I'm going? Have I laid out enough treats for you to know exactly what we're talking about? Because by now it should be obvious. Why make yourself worthy of someone's respect? Why? Why try when you can just pretend to be that same person without all the hard work and personal growth that comes with it? One way people do this is by cosplaying as members of the United States military. We're talking about stolen valor! People like to voice their respect for veterans and people serving for this country, right? No problem, man. No problem. We would be lost without you! That's my favorite thing that people say about military people. We'd be in fucking shackles if it wasn't for you guys fighting the good fight.
You just saying that makes me kind of want someone to say that to me.
I'm saying we gotta play a little dress up, all right? People like to voice their respect for veterans and people serving the country, sometimes shaking their hands, perhaps thanking them for their service. It seems that it's quite common for people to exploit this for their own gain by participating in a little something called stolen valor.
Listen, I am actually a combat veteran, and you guys are collecting money. So was your father, but you're not. That uniform is not your uniform.
One of my favorite things on the internet. Honestly, I love stolen valor. It's so funny. There's nothing funnier than an irate army man going up to a guy outside like a post office. What's your troop number? And they always do this. The fifth platoon. The fifth platoon. Bullshit! It's awesome. According to the Armed Forces Benefits Association, stolen valor is the act of falsely claiming military service, rank, recognition, or even someone else's identity. Yes, you can just straight up be like, I'm you. You're not Colonel Cooper. I'm Colonel Cooper. It's such a common thing that in 2005, the Stolen Valor Act was passed, making it a misdemeanor offense to lie about earning military medals of honor. This was amended in 2013 to particularly target people who were using this as means to gain tangible benefits, monetary or otherwise. Money and pussy, maybe some weed, a little dusty, huh?
Two-finger stink.
Today, we're gonna focus on something that's very cathartic, and that's people who get caught red-handed engaging in stolen valor. Roll the clip.
Stolen valor. Stolen valor.
That doesn't even make
Stolen
sense.
valor.
You're an idiot.
Do you think it's a mental illness?
So having fun is a mental illness? Okay. So people get to dress up as anime characters and horror icons and stuff at conventions. You guy can dress up as Michael Myers, but I can't dress up as Colonel Cooper.
Well, that's the thing. If I just put on an army outfit, like if someone went up to me and said, thank you, I'm just cosplaying. Like, would people be upset?
I don't know. Not that they're all PTSD ridden. Everybody talks to people of the military as if they're either mentally disabled or they're like 98-year-old men. Is that not true though? Have you ever noticed that? Like every person that's a part of the military, you talk to them like they're a fucking child. So where'd you go? Where were you stationed? Iraq. Yeah, here, give me that smoothie. Here, give me that shit. Give me my smoothie time, dude. I'm gonna be farting with all this protein. Delicious.
Hey everyone, it's me, Winslow Phone, here to tell you about our new merch sale. Wow! Woohoo! Head on over to MeatCanyon.store. We have a bunch of new merch, like the Ozempic shirt. Wow, that's stylish. Wow. We also have the Spicy Talk. Woohoo! Whoa! All your favorite smutty books. Oh, and my favorite. Oh, Margaret. Margaret! It comes in both black and white. Oh, but not only that, we have shorts and a bomber. Whoa! Whoa! We also have a sketchbook. Look at the packaging. Oh, so hurry up and head on over to MeatCanyon.store and pre-order. Pre-orders end May 17th. And if you miss it, you might not get it. Actually, you won't get it because it's a pre-order. How many times we gotta tell people it's a pre-order?
What I'm saying is that even if you were like, I'm just dressing up, I'm just cosplaying, it's always going to be bad because there's like always a level of societal norms that follow interacting with a military person. Oh, so you think this is funny? You think it's funny being Colonel Keep It?
And they point to their legs that are gone.
What about these? Shows his wheelchair just like swollen lumps. What do you think of these? These were blown up in Egypt. We can't talk about the curse of the Sphinx. Look at you, little guy. You come here, motherfucker. You're my little Lieutenant Dan. Stolen Valor videos have been on the internet since way back in the day, often racking up tons of views and infuriating viewers everywhere, all over the globe. And one of the most viral examples being the fake ranger that was called out by an actual veteran in the mall. It's always someplace like this, a post office, a mall, just somewhere like a grocery store.
Yeah.
Beautiful. My boy Sean Yetman, a 30-year-old man dressed in full camouflage and several military honors, was casually walking around with shopping bags in hand. Ryan Burke, a recipient of the Purple Heart who served in Afghanistan, could easily tell that his uniform was off. He starts interrogating him why he has badges for accomplishments that don't match his military history.
Hey, sir. Hey, my son like to meet you. He really admires guys in the Army.
Hey, buddy. I'm Sean.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy, I'm Sean. He has like a fucking Reeboks bag. I just picked up Air Jordans, little buddy. Hey, what's up, buddy? I'm Sean.
I'm what's called a TAC 1. All I do is I go out on missions.
Where'd you get your 3 CIBs at?
Afghanistan.
All 3?
All 3.
You know you need to be in 3 different campaigns to get 3 CIBs, right?
This one was from Afghanistan.
Okay.
That's from Iraq.
Okay.
And that was for my second rotation back to Afghanistan.
You know, no matter how many you do, you can only get 1. For Iraq, Afghanistan, all 3, you can only get them. You know that, right?
Because my campaign took me outside of mission lines from Afghanistan.
That doesn't make any sense. And you're in 2nd Bet Rangers?
Yep.
There it is. Where's your combat patch at?
I gave it to a little kid again.
All right, why's your flag so low on your shoulder? It should be up here.
Got me on that one, bud.
I love that. Got me on that one, bud. And after catching him on multiple things, screwing up the answers, Yetman starts pretending to take a phone call from a staff sergeant, despite telling Ryan that he was a staff sergeant.
Staff sergeant. He's calling a staff sergeant. Why is he calling a staff sergeant if he's already a staff sergeant? That doesn't make much sense.
Hey, where are you?
This video was taken in 2014, and it was later revealed that this man had also pleaded guilty to impersonating a police officer in 2003. That's so funny, dude.
Okay.
Here it is, guys. Stolen Valor at its finest.
Who's like there's an infamous guy. There's this channel I love called DankNet, and he did a whole video on this guy who pretended to be a cop for like fucking 10 years or something. Shout out DankNet. Good channel. Good channel. An investigation began in order to discover if Yetman was profiting off the stolen Valor, perhaps using military discounts at the mall.
So you shop at the mall with Star Major on Black Friday?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
About bags? Yeah, he was, dude. In another video posted to the Stolen Valor TikTok account, a far less convincing man was caught doing the same thing. Instead of having rehearsed answers to the cameraman's questions, he claimed that he had to wake up at 4 a.m. and had no clean clothes to wear.
It's called Stolen Valor. It's
I am not stealing anybody's Valor, sir. I swear to God, if I had any other things to put on this morning, I would have done it.
Because of this, he decided to go into his stepson's closet and put on the first thing he could find, which was a full military uniform, complete with hat and boots. I love that. I mean, I had nothing. Hey, buddy, I'm gonna wear your army outfit, okay? Hoorah! Hoorah! As his son says to him. Hoorah! Hey, Dad, pain's weakness leaving the body. That's right, son. Thank you for letting me wear a uniform today. I love you.
Being caught in a lie like that, I feel like you should get a lot of shit.
Yeah. Getting caught in any of these lies, you should be given a lot of shit. But at least fucking make a backstory for yourself. My God, at least like the first guy at least had a couple.
You know it's illegal, right? What you're doing right now?
Let me tell you something. If I was a phony,
Yeah?
then I wouldn't be wearing this uniform.
My boy Yitman had at least a couple answers. Point, here's the thing. Couldn't you just be like, I just like the way it looks? The idea of the guy going up to Yitman at the beginning and being like, hey, my son wants to meet you. He's a big fan. Hey, how's it going, buddy? And like playing into it like that's fucked up. He could walk around just like, it's just an outfit. I bet you if he said that, the cameraman would have been like, oh, okay. Or do you think they'd be like, that's fucked up, man. You shouldn't be wearing those ranks and stuff. You're going to confuse a lot of people out here. Motherfucker. He's in his wheelchair. Come here. I just want to talk! That's my son's outfit. I don't know. I thought it was funny to wear. Oh, you must think you're real slick. The same excuse was used by a young kid dressed in full camo when he approached a man to ask for a cigarette. Turns out the man who started filming their interaction is a disabled veteran.
I haven't gone to boot camp yet. I don't have these are my older brothers. I'm just wearing them.
Okay, so why are you wearing the uniform?
feel like wearing it. This is all I have clean.
That's all you have clean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I haven't gone to boot camp yet. Okay.
What's the back of that say? Read the bottom of that.
Disabled veteran.
Yeah. What do you think that means?
You were in the military?
Yes, it does.
Does the kid not seem a little mentally...
I feel like they're not fully there, so I think they want to be respected.
Yeah, you're just like in a weird fantasy world. Because if you weren't like mentally fucking like a little kooky for Cocoa Puffs, then wouldn't you just be like, I just wanted to wear it. I don't know, leave me alone. Or would you just be like, sir, I'm sorry, sir. Sir, sorry, sir. Would you do one of those? Sir, I'm sorry, sir. I will do better next time, sir. Just trying to bum a cigarette, man. As we keep going through these, because I can also see that too. Dude, I was shot over there. I have friends who died in that uniform, right? Now you're walking around asking for fucking cigarettes and candy. Is that kind of fucked up? I'm trying to find a balance. Because also, I think maybe I want to wear an outfit every once in a while, huh? Army boots are nice boots, Nick.
I wanted to buy the Nikes. They had the military boots. They're like $150.
Are you going to?
No, it was like 10 years ago.
Okay. People have also been wearing fake Army getup at Waffle House to get the 10% veterans discount. Which, you know what? If you don't do that, economically, you're not making sense. If you're putting up a discount, also, you're in trouble times. If you need 10% off a fucking Waffle House, of all places. I bet you it's a lot like, I don't know, a guy getting caught murdering somebody. And the way where you're just like, is this your first time doing this? This is the first time I've ever killed somebody. Because I imagine the guy gets caught, well, I just do it here. You don't just do it here, dude. If you're getting 10% off fucking eggs and toast, you're doing it everywhere. Also, you have the get up on, why wouldn't you? I would be more weirded out if it was just a guy being like, I just do it at Waffle House. You're a fucking psychopath.
Or that's going to be weird too if you go to some place and they offer, oh, you're military, let me give you a discount. And you're like, no.
No, I couldn't. I couldn't possibly take it. You know what? Fine. Yeah, you bit my arm. Go ahead. It's one thing to use as a means to get some kudos from strangers, but their lies can get a lot more out of hand. Like the American Idol contestant that faked an IED explosion.
Isn't that what you put in a woman's vagina?
I think so. During season 12 of American Idol, 26-year-old Matthew Farmer had auditioned for the show and surprised people with his amazing performance. My God, he was amazing. Play one note of him singing. That's an American Star if I've ever seen one. An American Idol, as it were. He came with an intense backstory about receiving a life-threatening brain injury from an IED explosion while performing military services in Iraq. While it's common for contestants on the show to create a dramatized story for the sake of garnering more attention in the competition, Farmer took things way too far. He even claimed that his daughter's birth was a miracle because he had to take medication for this injury and PTSD that made him sterile. Not only that, but he told the judges that his audition was dedicated to his friends in the service.
So this is basically a memorial tribute to all my friends that passed away overseas.
Oh my goodness.
He's a hero. He's a hero. Soldiers started coming out of the woodwork and reporting that while Farmer had indeed served, he was never involved in one single direct fire engagement and was never wounded, and made up this whole lie to try and make his story sound good to American Idol. Are we trying to win or are we trying to lose? All right. The same soldier also went on to discuss the truth behind the brain injury, stating it was not from an IED, but insisted it was accidentally overdosing on a mixture of alcohol and Accutane, the acne medication. He's like, I'll get back pimples, bitch. Sorry. I gotta have the demon sleep somehow, so I gotta take it down with a little bit of vodka. Sue me. According to him, he outed everyone who was drinking with him that night. And because he feared returning and being confronted for ratting on his comrades, he claimed that he had brain injury and PTSD in order to avoid having to return. First, he denied everything, saying the show producers fabricated the story without his knowledge, and eventually, he came clean and apologized before leaving the show on his own accord. Have him sing another song. He also probably wouldn't have gotten that far if it wasn't for the story, right? Well, because the producers then too are just like, this is a pay pig.
I also like how he blamed the producers. They made me say it.
Okay, so then I guess I'm in the wrong because they made me say something. Okay. No, I guess it's my fault. This isn't the first time that someone used Stolen Valor in an attempt to gain attention from an audience this large in scale. We could also talk about the social media soldier, James Vasquez.
He looks pretty badass right there.
James Vasquez does look pretty fucking cool. Leaned up on some wood, he's rural like that. James Vasquez is a 48-year-old American veteran that volunteered to fight in the war in Ukraine. He'd post videos to social media, giving updates on the conflict while claiming to be on the front lines of the battle. Parts of the tales included destroying Russian tanks and capturing Russian soldiers. Stories that went viral and helped him reach 400,000 followers on Twitter. Those fighting in Ukraine would report that this was all a lie.
All these Russians that have bounties on my head,
You better up the ante.
Even claiming that they would often see Vasquez enter areas after battles had taken place just to take videos of destroyed equipment and claim he was victorious.
So he was in Ukraine.
Oh no, he was in Ukraine, right? He's in Ukraine, but he's also just like, excuse me. Everyone's like sitting there like all tired and shit. Pardon me real quick. In another instance, he accidentally revealed the location of his unit in a social media post and nearly got people killed. Stories began coming out about him role-playing as a pain soldier. And quote, one time, he was really drunk and he was crying really hard about this friend of his that had his head blown off by a sniper in front of him in Iraq and how that really messed him up. I realized that story never could have really happened.
He was just crying, making up.
Oh, fucking head blew off his shoulders. Fuck! It's impossible to not be like, oh my God. You know, he's like, I know. It's kind of crazy, isn't it? This life I live. I'm a fucking nut. But goddamn, I'm still here. Pain is just waiting, leaving the body. Pain is waiting, leaving the body. You okay, Vasquez? Yeah. Yeah, I'm okay. To others, he bragged about his new online fame, stating, quote, I'm never going to go back to work as a handyman. I'm probably never going to have to work again after this war. I'm going to be famous. Is that a real quote? Who wrote that down?
He did.
Okay. The lies were catching up to him, and he eventually admitted that he was kicked out of the army, but didn't really say why. Even his wife was shocked to learn that he had lied about his Ukraine antics on top of his prior military history. His wife stated, I believed him. The war stories that had supposedly happened brought tears to his eyes. I felt terrible for what he had to go through and endure. And then come to find out it was all just a lie. Here I am. I've been with him for 11 years. I don't even know the man I married. Damn! My God. He was divorced by his wife, after which he deactivated his Twitter account and has since become an online laughingstock. And just months ago, a random user on Reddit posted an update about Vasquez, and the Reddit said this. A friend of mine just saw him in Cartia. This is not a drill. Update. He's been sidelined and they're canceling his contract. Not because he's a grifter, but because he's so shit at basic infantry stuff and such a hazard at the range that they don't want him around anymore. What a shame. Do you think his plan was to be like, oh, they're laughing at me now, but I'm going to actually go through the ranks, I'm going to make it? And they're like, you're actually terrible.
So he's never been in the military except for right there?
No, I think he was in the military. I think he just did shit. Stuff would happen, and then he'd just be like, I can't believe I lost all these good men today. And they're like, this is a testing area. And he's like, war's hell. So what if he did it to practice his acting? Because he's like, I'm going to be on news shows. I got to be able to like cry on command. Also, maybe he wasn't. People are just fucking dumb and they're like, is he crying? And he's like, his head came clean off.
Do you think he's hoping for like an American Sniper type of fame?
Oh, dude. Yeah. He wanted the movie. He's like, Bradley Cooper's going to play me too. It's going to be awesome. It better not be Mark Wahlberg. Speaking of Reddit, people have often posted about their experience realizing one of their loved ones has been lying about their military service. Like this one, for example. My husband has claimed to be in the army for years. Before we met, but still. Claimed to go to Afghanistan for years. In a bomb squad that had an orphanage that ended up with the death of children in the orphanage because it was bad intel. Turns out, nope, all fake. I'm so upset. And what now? What would you do if you found out? If you were dating some girl and she's just like, yeah, I'm a bit of a jarhead. And do that stuff, and then you found out you've never had any military experience. You weren't even in it at all. That stolen valor cupcake. I don't take kindly to that.
Are they like every day almost reminding me somehow, like with pictures?
Yeah, could you not put that there? Actually, can you make sure the flag's at half mast today? Just a buddy of mine.
What is wrong with you, girl?
You'd have to... Girl, what the hell is wrong with you? Gypsy. But there is an update to her story. She posted this. We'll keep it simple. After pulling his background and credit, I found out about $60,000 in back child support from kids I never knew about. 4 kids, all different mothers, and I'm making plans to move out and be safe in my divorce. I wonder sometimes with these kind of guys that lie about the backstory is if they're trying to scam the people that they're with. The couple steal a bunch of money and then they just leave. So then whenever they're like, well, tell us about him. Oh, he was in the military. Well, I can't find any military records on this guy or something. You know, they're making a completely new persona. And also, like I said, you get the sympathy card with the military thing. Hey, not a bad idea to keep the wife quiet though, huh? I don't want to talk about him having a weird mental day. PTSD's being crazy. I better go to my quiet place. Just drink and watch like Madagascar in the basement. I like to move it, move it. Don't go downstairs. He's having an episode today. Move it! Many people that participate in Stolen Valor are much more sinister, using it to prey upon innocent people for monetary gain. Let's talk about the Stolen Valor scams, starting with Derek Aldred, the serial romance scammer. See? Already getting into it. Derek Aldred would lie about his identity and scam women into giving him access to their finances to clear out their bank accounts. Sometimes he would pose as a Navy SEAL, and other times he was a doctor or a firefighter, but mostly a Navy SEAL. The coolest of all military people. Is it the SEALs or is it the Green Beret? I don't want to be a Green Beret. What the fuck would I want a Green Beret, dude? Make me a SEAL. Also, the Navy SEALs have the coolest commercials. The Navy does. It's them sitting like in a raft. There's like a fucking like giant boat on fire, and they fall back into the water. They emerge from the fucking ocean with guns. I'm here to fucking kill something.
Is that Marines?
No, it's Navy. Navy SEALs. Is that the National Guard? No. All that matters, dude, rock, flag, and eagle. Rock, flag, and eagle. His scams went on for 2 whole decades, as his efforts would be as elaborate as buying a slew of fake uniforms and even creating websites to make his identities believable. Linda, a woman from Minnesota, had moved in with Aldred, believing he was a decorated Navy SEAL, only to have her trust broken when he cleared out all of her retirement accounts before leaving the state to dodge the police. He's an old bird too, dude. You got some retirement in there? She's like, oh yeah, what a long time. Give me a kiss. He's like, another woman named Joanne was wined and dined by Aldred, who was posting as an international business attorney at the time. She realized that these were all being paid for by her because he had secretly stolen her social security number to open up a credit card account.
He is a very, very, very bad man.
No, baby, I got it. I got it. There are countless stories like this from women who have had their lives ruined by Derek Aldred, with some losing as much as $250,000. That sucks. That's fucking crazy. Listen, there's a difference between getting fucking wined and dined and having $250K stolen. That's crazy. But in the end, he was caught by police after more than 24 women's stories became linked to Aldred. He was given a maximum sentence of 24 years in prison alongside a $255,000 payment and restitutions. And the judge stated this, ladies and gentlemen. The defendant left a trail of tears, emotional devastation, and financial ruin behind him. It is clear that he will never change, and we expect his sentence to reflect that. We are glad we are able to get some level of justice for these women.
I'm not trying to justify my behavior. My behavior was, I was a horrible boyfriend. Absolutely horrible. Destroying someone's life, I think, is a bit exaggerated.
Good man. Also, only $255,000 in restitutions. He's like, I stole way more than that.
I guess there's never enough for these people.
No.
They just want more and more.
Yeah. You got. I mean, it's the thrill of the hunt. I think the thrill to spit on American soldiers and women and get money and pussy. You know how it is. By mixing stolen valor, Tinder, and AI, one man was able to engage in much more convoluted scam. Let's talk about the AI soldier dating scam. A UK woman named Mary fell victim to a romance scam after engaging in a lengthy online relationship with a man on Tinder named Mike Murdy. It's a great British name. My name's Mike Murdy. I'm a boxer from Liverpool. Mike Murdy was supposedly a 61-year-old U.S. Army colonel that was stationed in the UK. Mary, who had been single for over 20 years, red flag, was excited to talk to this seemingly perfect man. She was sent videos of Mike in his uniform and claimed that he was incredibly handsome. As it turns out, this was an AI character designed to scam people on dating apps, and his persona was complete with a tragic backstory, being a man that had lost his wife to cancer, and with AI images of them together to serve as proof. After giving the supposed soldier her address, she received jewelry and other trinkets that further cemented her infatuation with them. And a note was included that read this, and I quote, "You're the one I want to be with now and forever." I tell you what though, she's probably leaving some fucking snail trails around her house. 20 years single and she gets that letter? Get a bucket. Get some bucket and some towels. That's all I gotta say. Murdy claimed he was close to retirement and wanted her to help cash in on a life insurance policy for his deceased wife. Sure! Apparently this required her to send him money from her own bank account in order to have a briefcase with $766,000 delivered to her. It's only fair. And after paying $12,600, the briefcase arrived locked. She was then instructed to pay another $12,600 in order to get the 6-digit access code.
The risk of explosive devices everywhere, it's against the Army's rules and regulations. But I wanted to reach out to you to make sure the briefcase is delivered right to your doorstep.
She became suspicious by this point. But this is when Murdy sent a more frustrated AI video. In it, he claimed that she was focused on the money rather than their loving relationship. Manipulative cocksucker. She caved and sent the money, now losing a total of 25 grand. She was ghosted and eventually opened the briefcase to find piles of blank papers. When it comes to stolen valor, people usually think of people posing as members of military, but stolen valor can also include impersonating a police officer. Some would say that this is far more dangerous, seeing as these people can sometimes take the law into their own hands, using his newfound persona to power trip, like the case of Jeremy DeWitt. Oh, this is the Danklet guy. And there you go, Jeremy DeWitt. This guy's a fucking nut. Jeremy DeWitt is a Florida man who, since the late 1990s, has been impersonating a police officer. He's harassed civilians and scammed people for over 20 years. He was originally caught for his crimes early on in 2001, which would be far from his first run-in with the law. And in 2003, he was sentenced to 2 years in jail for impersonating a police officer. And then in 2005, he was convicted for lewd and lascivious battery involving a minor. For this, he was given a year sentence and he was forced to join the sex offender registry. In 2009, he was sentenced for an additional 4 years for breaching the stipulations of his parole. It was after being released from prison that his stolen valor antics began to ramp up. DeWitt started a company that, on the surface, was a funeral procession escort service called Metro State Special Services. They would have the hearse and people line up and just drive. That's it. And he would just drive in front of them. Seems simple enough. But he made uniforms that looked identical to that of police officers, and even their company vehicles resembled police cruisers. He began hiring several people, most of which seemed to be wannabe police officers who wanted to join what seemed to be a mini police force operating illegally. And at one point, they had 18 cruisers being operated by their company. People say it operated like a cult. While impersonating police, they began using their illusion of power to harass people and illegally direct traffic. They'd speed and weave through cars whenever they were on the road while blaring horns and sirens. And in many cases, they would try to pick fights with other drivers. The wider public started to become aware of his crimes, mainly because he would post his body cam footage to YouTube. It was no secret that DeWitt loved the feeling of power, and he even admitted to investigators that this ego boost was one of the main reasons he had dreamt of being a police officer when he was young. His power-tripping ways were halted briefly in 2018 when it was discovered that DeWitt never actually registered as a sex offender for his previous crimes. For this, he was criminally charged. How did he get away for, what, almost 10 years? How the f did that happen? No, I'm good. Fill out this form. I'll be back. I have to go. Woo! Driving off. One of his later confrontations ended up being with an off-duty deputy. After screaming at him and threateningly slamming his hands onto his car, he identified himself and alerted DeWitt that he was breaking the law. DeWitt was so high on his own illusion of power that he continued to roleplay as he cussed the deputy, who began to call 911. As the off-duty man drove away with a 4-year-old son, DeWitt had his gang of officers begin to tail his vehicle to harass him further. What a fucking monster, dude. He was later arrested yet again in 2019 for being dressed in full police garb during a funeral procession, complete with pocket knives and a spray-painted BB gun. A month after that, he was arrested again for the same reason. He made his way on the Dr. Phil show in 2021 in order to prove he was innocent, even offering to take a polygraph test, which he took and immediately failed. Then, right after that, he was arrested once again for impersonating a police officer while wielding a fake pistol. Let people know it's a BB gun. I gotta get something new. He received 18 months in jail and was released again in 2022, only to be arrested months later for violating his probation. Throughout 2023 to 2025, he was arrested for various types of fraud. Because of his prior convictions, he was hit with a 7-year prison sentence.
Not long enough.
No, God. And he'll be back, though. Don't worry. It appeared that DeWitt was addicted to the power and fame. That was his absurd crime-filled life. People expect that once he is free, he'll go right back to his frauding ways. Of course he will. Every day is just like him being like, I need a break. In jail, you know what I mean? And then when he gets out of prison, he's going to be like, all right, I've had the perfect plan. Also, I just want to say, if you want to know more, because there's way more shit about DeWitt that you can know, check out the Danknet video. It's fucking awesome. It's really, really good. And also, Danknet just has great content, so you should check him out. Some people will do anything for a little ounce of respect, even if it's completely fabricated. Not only is this stuff illegal, but it's incredibly insulting to people who have seen actual combat and suffer real long-term side effects. If you want people to respect you, do something worth being respected for. It'll be much more valuable when it's based on something real. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today and talking about stolen valor. And guys, if you're gonna do this, just have fun with it, okay? Just kidding. Please don't do stolen valor. If there's any stolen valor people out there, I'll be honest, I probably can't tell who you are. I wonder the statistic of how many people have ran into a stolen valor person I didn't know. Not even interacting, you like walk by one, you're like, that's a military guy. That's it. Anyways, thank you guys. Bye-bye. We love you, servicemen and women. Thank you for what you do. Still feels kind of a bit. It doesn't feel very genuine, does it? I swear to God, I like you. My grandpa was a vet. He's dead. He is. He's dead.
What do you mean? I'm a soldier.
Yeah, but what's
I live for this country. I fight for this country, and gotta protect the freedom of the citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your MOS first of all?
MOS is a classified thing. I can't reveal that information.
Why is that?
Army, you know, that's how we roll.